Hello thrill seekers, and welcome back to the channel. As the nights grow longer and a chill hangs in the air, we're drawn to tales of the strange and the unsettling. Halloween isn't just about candy and costumes. For some, it's a time when the veil between our world and something much darker seems too thin. Tonight, we have 3 chilling stories, all rooted in the shadows of Halloween, that will make you question what's truly lurking in the dark. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and prepare yourselves. Our first story takes us back to high school, a time of petty grudges and teenage rebellion. It centers on a group of friends and a teacher they all despised, Mr. Abernathy. He wasn't just strict. He seemed to take genuine pleasure in making his students' lives miserable. The final straw was when he unfairly failed a friend of theirs, costing him a scholarship. That's when they decided that on Mischief Night, the night before Halloween, they would get their revenge. The plan was more than just toilet papering a house. They wanted to humiliate him. They planned to sneak into his home, rearrange his furniture, fill his closets with rubber chickens, and plastered the walls with photos of their friend he'd failed. They spent weeks planning, mapping out his house from the outside, and learning his schedule. On Mischief Night, clad in black, they found a window left unlocked and slipped inside. The house was eerily silent, filled with the scent of old books and something else, something metallic and vaguely sweet. They began their prank, moving silently through the dark rooms. It was while they were in his study that one of them, named Jake, stumbled and knocked a stack of books off a shelf. As they scrambled to pick them up, they uncovered a loose floorboard. Curiosity got the better of them. Prying it open, they expected to find maybe a hidden stash of money or old journals. But what they found made their blood run cold. Inside was a small, worn leather wallet. They opened it, and the ID inside wasn't Mr. Abernathy's. It belonged to a man who had been reported missing from a neighboring town almost a year ago. His face, smiling from the driver's license, was all over the news back then. Panic set in. The prank was forgotten. They were now intruders in the home of a man who might be a killer. Beneath the wallet, they found something else. A small, tarnished silver locket. Inside was a picture of the missing man and a woman, their arms around each other. As they stared at the evidence, a sound from upstairs shattered the silence. A door creaking open. They didn't wait to see who it was. They scrambled out of the house, leaving the floorboard open and the wallet exposed. They ran without stopping, their hearts pounding in their chests. They went to the police the next day, anonymously tipping them off about what they'd found. The police investigated, but by the time they got there, Mr. Abernathy was gone. The house was empty, cleared out. It was like he had vanished into thin air, taking his secrets with him. The missing person case was reopened, but Abernathy was never found. The students were left with a haunting question. Did their Halloween prank inadvertently allow a killer to escape, or did they narrowly avoid becoming his next victims? It's a chilling reminder that sometimes, the monsters we look for on Halloween are living right next door. Our second story tonight is a terrifying tale of being in the wrong place at the very, very wrong time. This happened to a young man named Leo, who was trying to end a toxic relationship. His ex-boyfriend, Mark, was intensely jealous and possessive. After a nasty breakup, Leo found himself being stalked. One evening, a few days before Halloween, Leo was walking home when he saw Mark's car slowly cruising down the street, following him. Pure fear took over. Leo bolted, ducking into alleyways and cutting through yards, trying to lose him. He was desperate. He burst out onto a main road, breathless and terrified, and stuck out his thumb, hoping anyone would stop. Abida Saddam pulled over. The driver was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "Trouble, dear?" she asked. Overwhelmed with relief, Leo jumped in, stammering about a crazy ex. The woman, who introduced herself as Martha, nodded sympathetically. She told him not to worry, that he was safe with her. A stage rub, Martha started talking about faith and the devil's influence in the world. Leo, just happy to be safe, politely agreed. But then the conversation took a turn. Martha's gentle tone hardened. She started scrutinizing him, her kind eyes now filled with an unnerving intensity. She asked if he was a believer. She spoke of demons walking the earth in human skin, especially around All Hallows' Eve. She said she could see the darkness clinging to him. Leo's relief curdled back into fear. He realized he had jumped from one dangerous situation right into another. He tried to laugh it off, asking her to just drop him at the next bus station. That's when she locked the car doors. "The Lord sent you to me for a reason," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. "He sent me to cast the demon out of you." She started chanting in a language he didn't understand, her eyes rolling back in her head. She placed a hand on his forehead, which was surprisingly cold, and began reciting prayers, demanding to unclean spirit to leave his body. Leo was frozen in terror. He was trapped in a moving car with a woman who genuinely believed he was possessed and was attempting to perform an exorcism on him. He pleaded with her, insisting he was just a regular guy running from his ex, but she just grew more fervent, souching at the demon of obsession to release its hold. Thinking fast, Leo began to play along. He started to convulse and groan, pretending the demon was fighting back. He thrashed in his seat, hoping to distract her enough to find an escape. As they approached a red light, Leo gave a final, dramatic wail and then went limp, pretending to have passed out. Martha, believing her exorcism was working, was momentarily caught off guard. In that split second, Leo lunged for the door handle, unlocked it, and threw himself out of the still-moving car. He hit the pavement hard, scraping his hands and knees, but he didn't care. He scrambled to his feet and ran into a crowded convenience store, not looking back. He never saw Martha or his ex-boyfriend again. He was left with a few scars and the horrifying memory of the night he escaped not one, but two different kinds of madness. For our final story, we hear from a teacher, someone who witnesses the private struggles of children every day. This account is particularly heartbreaking and serves as a grim warning about how fear and superstition can lead to unimaginable cruelty. The teacher, let's call her Ms. Evans, had a student named Sam. Sam was a bright, quiet boy, but around October, he came alive. He loved Halloween. He drew spooky pictures of ghosts and vampires, wrote stories about haunted houses, and his face would light up when talking about his costume ideas. He wasn't morbid. He was just a creative kid with a passion for the macabre fun of the season. That year, however, Ms. Evans noticed a change. Sam became withdrawn. He looked tired and thin, and the light in his eyes had dimmed. His Halloween drawings stopped. When she asked him what he was going to be for Halloween, he just shrugged and looked at the floor. She grew concerned, especially when he started missing school. When he did show up, he looked even worse, with dark circles under his eyes and clothes that seemed to hang off his small frame. Ms. Evans tried talking to him, but he wouldn't open up. She finally decided she had to call his parents. The conversation she had with Sam's mother chilled her to the bone. The parents, who were deeply religious, had become convinced that Sam's fascination with Halloween was a sign of demonic possession. They had consulted a holy man from their community, who told them that the boy's soul was in peril. The cure, he advised, was to cleanse him by starving the demon out. They had locked Sam in his room and were severely restricting his food and water, believing they were saving his soul by punishing his body. They genuinely believed they were doing the right thing, fighting a spiritual battle for their son. Ms. Evans was horrified. She immediately contacted Child Protective Services and the police. When authorities arrived at the house, they found Sam in a severely weakened and malnourished state. He was just days away from starving to death. His parents were arrested, utterly bewildered that they were being punished for trying to save their child. Sam was hospitalized and eventually placed in foster care. He slowly recovered physically, but the psychological scars remained. He had been tortured by the very people who were supposed to protect him, all because of an innocent childhood love for Halloween. It is a tragic story that shows how the most terrifying monsters are sometimes not the ones in costumes, but the ones created by fear and ignorance. 3 stories, 3 different shades of Halloween horror, from a prank that uncovers a potential murderer, to an escape that leads to a terrifying encounter with a zealot, to a little boy nearly destroyed by his parents' misguided faith. It goes to show that the most frightening things in this world are often not supernatural, but all too human. Thank you for joining me in the shadows tonight. If you enjoyed these stories, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the dark side. Stay safe out there, and remember, always question what's behind the mask. Until next time.